indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sign the minutes from the March 16th, 2026 meeting. Any corrections to the April 6th, 2026 minutes? If no corrections, motions to approve the minutes.
So moved.
It- It's been properly moved and seconded to accept the minutes from April 6th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. Old business, Kokomo C-Store acceptance. Richard Berger, are you here tonight?
My name is Richard Berger. I'm with JPS Consulting Engineers, 11 Municipal Drive, Fishers, Indiana. Hear me okay?
Yeah, you aren't as loud as his was, so that's why I was checking.
I'll get louder.
There we go.
How's that?
That's
Sorry.
perfect.
Okay. We appeared 2 weeks ago to get acceptance onto the Drainage Board agenda for a plat at the northwest corner of State Road 26 and Dixon Road for the plat for a convenience store gas station project. We've had discussions with the county surveyor since that time, and we're in the process of doing the design, but we want to get the plat set so we can proceed forward.
Okay. Greg?
So to give you guys some information, talking with Rick, there seemed to be a misunderstanding. He was just wanting to subdivide the property at this time. Normally on our commercial properties, we subdivide and do the site plan at the same time. The site plan's not going to move forward yet. They're still working on the design, so that includes stormwater requirements and actually where everything's going to go at on the lot. So in a subdivision, this would just be the requirement of the soil borings, it has a drain outlet, and it meets the plat requirements. So that's what they wanted to move forward with. That's what he's provided for the board here tonight to get on the acceptance to set the public hearing just for this subdivision.
Just for that, okay.
So I don't have any problems with that at all. What I will ask of you, though, is on the documents that I printed off today, sheet 2-3 on your drainage plan of the plat versus sheet C300, you have your USTs on opposite sides of the property. Have you decided on which direction that's going?
Those are still in the works, exactly where they're going to be set.
Okay.
The site plan is, we're working with NDOT on the driveways as well as with the city. And so some of that's going to shift a little bit, but we're trying to stay within that boundary.
The reason I ask that is if the USTs are going to go on the east side of the tank or of the pump stations, that's where you have your
Yes, detention.
Detention.
Yeah.
And I've-
The intent is they would be on the west side.
so then the detention would go to the west side,
The
or
detention would be on the east side of
East
the
side.
site.
Okay.
Like we had shown on the,
so whatever you're going to approve for the plat as the drainage plan for the plat, let's make sure we
get
get
that
that right.
updated. Got it.
Yes, please.
Yep.
That's the only thing I had.
Thank you, Greg.
My concern was, and I get it, there's still processes to go through,
Yes,
but my concern, even at this early stage, is any development going into that corner because of the problems we've had out there. So it's not just this development, but any development, changing that, is that going to affect or intensify those problems?
so the main problem that we have is coming from Cotswold Hills. This particular part of the watershed is draining east to the John Galbraith drain, and it would enter that drain at the golf course. So the main issue that you would be concerned about on this particular lot would be the roadside swale and the off-site water coming through this area. I have talked to Rick about that, as far as making sure that any development that goes on here, that the pipe restriction from the west side of Dixon going to the east side into that detention basin for the apartment complex is his limiting factor. And he will have to design for what's currently going through it today, because his water, he's going to slow down. So to answer your question in a long-winded version, it won't make it worse, it's going to make it better, because he's got to slow his development down more than it is today. So he can gain on that pipe, but I do have some concerns over that pipe going underneath Dixon, because there's a good amount of water coming through that portion of the watershed.
And I get it that this is to the north.
Yes.
there, And the problems seem to be coming from the south
Correct.
to the north. So there's my concern, is we're coming from the south to the north, and now we're adding more runoff from there to north.
We aren't adding more runoff. It's gonna be the same amount of water, but we are slowing it down. So therefore, the water coming from the south has more time and concentration to get there.
More runoff is not a good word, but less absorption because of the parking lot.
Correct. There is less absorption, so that's why they have to create detention. And normally we see a pond, but on this particular development, they don't have room for a
Right.
pond, so they're gonna put it underground. And they're using a BMP, a best management practice for that. And he's starting to provide us that information, and we will be, in our reviews, that's what we will be ensuring, is that he's meeting our .1, .3 discharge rate. Because right now it's discharging as a farm field, which is a higher rate than that .3 discharge. So it's coming off faster today than what it will once this development is built.
So you think this will not impact the problems from the south?
It should not impact the problems from the south, as long as he handles the pass-through water, which will not be coming onto his site, but it's gonna stay in that side ditch that he's gotta improve going around his site.
Okay. I
Does
just
that make
want-
sense, Rick?
Absolutely, that's what we talked about, and I agree with what you're saying.
Yes, we've had several phone calls over this issue.
That was my concern last meeting.
Yep, and I apologize for not being here last meeting. I thought that this was a typical process, we'd run them together, and that's why it wasn't here, so I wasn't too concerned about you
Okay.
guys continuing it at all.
Okay, thank you for that explanation.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from the board?
So what are we doing tonight?
Tonight, you would be accepting the subdivision plat and setting a public hearing for 2 weeks.
I will make that motion, then, Mr. Vice Chair.
It's been properly moved and seconded to accept the motion for a public hearing for Kokomo C-Store for Monday, May 4th. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The board would entertain a motion to recess the regular Drainage Board meeting and open the public hearing.
Well,
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to recess the Drainage Board meeting and enter a public hearing. Williamsdale subdivision approval, Mike Pierce, or Brian Pierce, I'm sorry. Oh,
We didn't have a vote on the acceptance.
do we, all those in favor of recessing a regular Drainage Board meeting and entering the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Now we're good to go.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
I'm Seth Johnson with 40th Parallel Surveying out of Tipton, Indiana. And Williams subdivision is a minor subdivision, a one-lot subdivision. It's southeast of town on 400 East, just a little south of State Road 26. It's on a farm currently owned by William Salisbury. There's a tile on the, in the field to the north that we've dug up, I believe been inspected. And there's an easement created by the plat that will go to that tile across William Salisbury's land. And other than that, I'll answer any questions if you have them, but it's a, 2.13 acre, one lot subdivision. They're on 400 East.
Thank you, Brian. Any comments or questions from the board?
I'll move to approve the Williamsdale subdivision.
It's been, is there a second?
Public comment?
Do I have to ask for public comment?
I know what we need to do.
Public comment?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a public hearing.
Public comment?
Yeah. Yeah, the public, is there, anybody in the public who'd like to comment on this tonight? Greg, I got a question for you.
Yep.
You did see a tile that was open and working and at
Yes.
at the right depth.
Yes, I was just looking for the invert on it, because I did not shoot it. 860/15
Yeah.
and 865, yes. It is the correct depth for their septic location.
Okay.
And it was functioning, it was dry, it was open, yes.
Always like to hear that because that's what we're after.
That's what we're after,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, it's been, Jack motioned, move for approval. Is there a second? There was a second, correct? Did you second that, Mike?
Second, yes.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Timberfields Estate subdivision.
Okay. This is a two-lot subdivision on State Road 22, just west of Greentown, near what was Dirt and Turf, if that rings a bell. We have dug up a tile on site, or on the parent parcel, to the west that was 5 inches and was deemed too small. So we are in the process of, I think we've talked to a couple neighbors on the phone, we're working with the surveyor's office, we're coming up with a solution, and we're here today, since that tile was not big enough to ask for, continue to the next public hearing. Until we find, until we can show on the plans the exact solution we come up with. There's a regulated drain less than a quarter mile away that we'll probably end up tying to, I believe. But I think we're still exploring some options and making sure that we do everything we can not to impact Timberley Place to the east, the subdivision to the east. So all today, we're going to ask for a continuance until we can come up with the final perimeter drain septic plan.
Have you had any conversations with the landowners in Timberley Place?
Just, I believe Wyatt's had one conversation with one
Okay.
man.
There may be value in having a conversation with those landowners there, because they are desperately in need of some drainage.
Right, it would be a conversation more in helping them not, you know what I mean, not, because we're not gonna cause them any problems, but
Right,
helping their
I'm
current
talking about
situation.
participation,
Yes.
getting to the regulated drain on the other side.
Okay.
And making sure that the tile is sized large enough to.
Maybe tie.
To help
Okay.
help them as well as
Yeah.
your clients, is what I'm getting after.
Yeah, if we're gonna run it over there, we might as well get it.
Let's make it the right size to give some relief to that subdivision.
Okay.
And I think there would be some participants that at least would like to have a conversation about that, if possible. Because that subdivision has been in dire straits for many years. A lot of tree roots.
Okay.
And
So you're requesting a continuance
But
tonight?
yes, for now, yeah.
Okay.
So we can come up with a solution that satisfies everybody.
Is there a motion from the board for a continuance to that end?
I move to continue this case.
Do you want to hear any public comments tonight on this case since
Well,
this is a public hearing?
that was I figured if we were continuing, we can discuss it, sure.
You might hear something from. the
Sure.
public.
Is there any comments from the audience tonight that we need to hear? Okay,
They're in the back, they got their hand up.
yeah, go ahead, come on up.
I was just gonna say, not till they decide whether they're gonna tell you to.
Okay,
Well, right now, they're looking at going west with their drainage to a regulated drain west of that property.
Will it be cutting across the fields?
Yeah,
Farm fields there.
the field to the west of Timberley Place, right? That one? There's a big field between Timberley Place and that, I don't remember what it is, the gravel lot with the trucks out in front of it. South and west is the regulated drain. I think it crosses, you might have told me on this, it crosses, what's that road?
Yeah, 700 and then 22, it goes,
Yeah.
it's flowing north.
So it will go southwest across the existing farm field and then across the south adjoiner of that farm field, I think. It wouldn't be
Yes,
yeah, was it? Okay.
yeah, there's a county tile that dumps into that open ditch. That's the county tile that they're looking at going to. Are you guys with Timber Valley, or you live out in Timberley? Or Timberley Place? So your subdivision drain runs east out of that subdivision. And the slope of that ground actually doesn't break until you get out in the field east of the subdivision, about maybe 75, 100 yards. That's where the true watershed break is at. In reality, your drainage should have went west. But when it was built, I believe your subdivision is a PUD. Yes. And the owners of that subdivision are responsible for the roads, the drains, and all of the stuff. And I know you guys have had a tremendous amount of tree root problems and drainage issues for years. South side. Yes. That woods is actually a low sink, like on a plateau, so it's a high point with a sink in it. And when that sink fills up, some of it runs north, some of it runs, most of it just runs to the woods and sits there. That's why I wanted him to reach out to the owners out there to see, because if we update our watershed, more than likely, your subdivision is gonna get pulled into one of those watersheds, and it will be the one to the west. So I'm rerunning it. Back in 2006 is when we ran the watershed with Purdue University. And our digital elevation model was on 2-foot contours. So we could only see 2-foot differences. Today, we're on about 6 inches. So I can see a lot more doing it today. And your particular case, it changed the boundary a little bit. And it grabbed your entire subdivision, and it's pulling it to the west. I've got to run it again. I called Wyatt on that. I didn't get it run today, but that's kind of where you're at. And I think it would behoove your whole subdivision if we can get a new drain up there, and it would help you guys a bunch. So that's what I wanted to make sure we talked about.
perfect. Any other comments from the audience? Any more comments from the board?
2 weeks be enough for him to get done what he needs to get done?
2 weeks enough for
2
you?
weeks enough for you?
I believe so, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
We got a general idea of the shape of it. It's just, I think, coming up with exactly where and getting an elevation shot permission, but
Okay. There's a motion on the floor to, accept a continuance till next meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion to close the public hearing and resume regular Drainage Board meeting would be entertained at this time.
So moved.
It's been properly moved and seconded to exit the public hearing and enter the regular Drainage Board meeting. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Is there any new business tonight? Other business? Motion to adjourn? Been properly moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? See you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Thanks, Steve.